I will water my best garden and will water abundantly my garden bed. And look, my brook became a river and my river became a sea. All right. This is going into the living water. When the scriptures say, he who believes on me, as the scriptures say, not as my pastor say, not as my bishop say, but if they can prove that the scripture says it, that's where my faith is going to be in. That's how I know I can trust and identify my teachers, because everything they say can be proven and the puzzle pieces connect. There's no contradictions in their doctrine. Okay? Doctrine is something that's eternal. So if you ever run into brothers who's changing it up and they switching up things they say, or they don't even remember things they told you, you are not in the house of the wise. You're in the house of fools. Doctrine is sound and it's firm and it's eternal. Okay? So it says in verse 31, I said, oh, forgive me, 32, I will yet, this is wisdom, I will yet make doctrine, okay? I told you in many other videos, your salvation depends on who taught you. If the blind lead the blind, both y'all falling in the ditch. If you get behind a true man of understanding, then hey, you're going to receive his reward, because the Lord said what? If you receive my men, you receive me. If you reject my men, I'm going to reject you. All right? Because we come as the Lord. Okay? We're spitting out his testimony. Revelations 19:10. The spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus. Who is Jesus? Yahushua. The world ignorantly calls him Jesus. The testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Everything is about prophecy. A brother cannot lie to you about anything if you can see the end and see what you saying is BS, because look at the end. Prophecy erases all confusion. So this is wisdom speaking. A lot of brothers profess themselves to be wise. Well, if you're wise, my brother, you would obey her first law, which is to bow your ear to men of understanding. Now we in another one. Okay, before we get to 144,000, let's deal with this. It says, I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning and will send forth her light afar off. So wisdom is the one that gives you doctrine. Because though we have these words, they're not easy to understand. Wisdom gives you understanding to the knowledge that you know, to the words that you see. Okay? All right. And it says, verse 33, I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy and leave it to all ages forever. I will pour out doctrine as prophecy. See, the true way, okay, to the door, which is Yahushua, the Son. He says, I'm the door. Any man don't enter by me, you ain't getting into the kingdom of heaven. If you enter in through the window, through the roof, or through the basement, you came in another way, through another doctrine. Doctrine is prophecy.